Hello and welcome to another edition of Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, our topic today is how to create beautiful muted colors on an object or on a photograph. Let's get started. All right, so here we have this photograph. Here's before and after. Before and after. And what I want to do is not have it at full strength or the color to be full power. I want to mute the colors a bit. Now, a lot of times we'll do that when the colors are competing with the subject itself. Now, for this image here, the colors really aren't competing, but it's a really good example of showing how to use the muted colors. Well, the first thing I want to do is convert it to black and white. This is the easiest way to do it. Let's say come in, make a few slight adjustments. That's it. And I got the image looking the way I like it. Now I can come down here to the master slider and just dial it back a bit. And instantly I have muted colors. All right. So that's the easiest way to do it. Just convert the image to black and white. Then after black and white, go to the master slider and just adjust it until you feel the image has that look and feel of what you're going for. All right? So that's the easiest way. Let me get back to this right here. All right? Another option would be to use a template. Now, one of the templates I absolutely love is the cinematic one here, the cinematic set. I'm going to come down here to road trip, and look at that. Already, I'm getting the look I'm going for. Let me check another one. I like that one too, but you know what? I'm going to stay with the road trip. This one right up there it is. So road trip desaturated. I love this one. Now let me come over to edit, and let's check out what that template did. Of course, it's using Accent AI. That right there improves color, detail, tone, and depth. Almost every one of our edits should always begin with this. And let's see. Composition, of course, because I cropped it. Yep, there it is. And then under light, this is where the smart contrast comes in. Smart contrast is part of the AI set. So here we added just a touch of it to an 11, brought back some of the highlights here, and of course enriched the blacks. And we have structure and color. Now let's check out the color here. So to quickly get a desaturated look right here, look at this, is you'll come in and desaturate the color. So instead of saturation be a positive number, let's take it to a negative. And then we could use vibrancy either again as a positive or as a negative. Think of vibrancy as taking the muted colors and making them richer. Saturation takes care of all the colors. So I'm going to dial saturation back just a little more. Look at that. That's looking great. And one last one is I want to come down here to matte. Now this matte tool gives it that faded look that we're going for. Let's go right about here. And I can also apply some color toning to it. So I love how this looks here, but if I want, I can come in and then start to apply like an overall tone effect on the image. Blues usually look good. I'll dial it back just a touch. And if the amount is too much, just dial it back right about here. All right, that looks great. And once again, I can always come down here to my master slider. Here it is without any effect applied. And I can gradually increase it until I get the desired effect that I like. Right about there it looks good. Great, there we have it. So here's our before and after. So keep in mind, what I'm looking at here is I'm trying to get to the point to where we're using different tools to get the look that we're going for. So to get that muted color effect, we could use black and white. We could use the color and desaturate everything, and we could use that matte tool. So there's many different ways to get that muted color, but the reason is, why do we do it? And we do it when the color is going to compete with the theme or the feeling of the image. All right. Now, let me show you one more little trick here. And by the way, this right here is kind of killing me. Look how dark that is as opposed to this area here. So I'm going to come over here to the local masking. And let's do basic. And all I'm focusing on right now is this tree. So let's take the shadows and bring them way back. And now adjust the exposure. And again, I'm focusing just on the tree. That looks good. And I can either brush it in, or we can use a gradient mask. I'll choose a gradient. So for the gradient mask, what we're going to do is click and drag the effect. So where the red is where the effect will be applied. Look at that. So you see how that ties it all in? So again, let me go to before and after. I'm going to shut this, the layer mask off. So this is what it looked like without the layer mask. See how our eyes are drawn to that side? Now by adding it, our eyes are back focused on the young little girl. All right, there we have it. Now, let's check some of the comments. All right, good morning, guys. Great to see all of you from all around the world. Good, yes, Jerry, very easy peasy. All right, hey, can we have an update on the blur tool with the brushes? Any update? So if you're talking about the blur tool, let's see. We do have let me pull it up real quick. Find it for you. One moment. Let's see. So not dodge and burn, but our masking. And let's do tone. Mask, here we go. So now I do have the softness applied. So do you see this right here? So if that's what you're asking, is not just a blur tool with the brush, what we do have here is in version or update 3, which some of you, let me know in the chat if you already received it. It should be coming out this week or next week. Everyone should be receiving it. We already did a soft launch. And here's a good example. Here's the radius, softness of the brush, and then the opacity. And here, right here, is where you can see I can feather the brush to make it softer, or I can make it a hard brush. All right. If you're talking about the blur tool itself, I'm not quite sure. We're talking about the same thing on that end. So right here again, each of the mask now has a softness slider to make the transition a little bit smoother. All right. Well, that's great. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. And don't forget, if I don't answer your questions during this episode, save them for the next episode and ask those same questions again, and we can respond live to your questions and answers. If you have any suggestions for future shows, let us know, and we'll do our best to implement them. Well, I'm Vanelli. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.